Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be with you here and really explain to you what we mean about this iconic self that we're going to be talking about. So, you remember the 1.0 self, the default self that just kind of is more reactive to life, just getting sort of stuck in not being aware of how you really want to be because you're operating from your mind instead of your heart. You know what that's like. It's frustrating. Then you have this other side, and it's the ideal self that is so excited to just create and be in this frequency that you own this plane. And I don't mean in any sort of greedy way. I mean that you got it dialed in because you understand what's going on. And what's going on is that you got to think really clean thoughts. And I don't mean naughty thoughts. I mean really clear and wise thoughts. How do we operate from that place? And how do we embody that place? Well, today, you're going to see how I put it all together, and it's really cool. Sean and I have been working on this to offer you a teaching video. We had a little bit of weather. But when we get into the work we're going to be doing, I want to get right in with you and dig deep on a personal level. And let it be really a coaching, actionable lesson. So, let's talk about iconic self. Iconic self is either an idea that you've had that you've always wanted to be but could never embody. It also can be people in your life that you've always looked up to and you just want to emulate those characteristics better. And it can be somebody that you've looked up to, like Sean says, her Marilyn Monroe emulation. She would love to emulate that energy. What we want to tell you is that these things outside of yourself that you've been inspired to be are a frequency. And you can dial into that frequency at any time. And when you imagine how Marilyn Monroe was operating in the world, you watch her on film. She kind of drops into the energy and then she sort of comes into herself like a spell in a way. And that was a very alluring energy that helped us to feel how she wanted to feel. And she was really good at it because I always felt like this warmth of like wonder and womanhood and femininity and just everything delicious that you could imagine being as a woman. And it was really fluid. What she was doing there sent a message, sent a frequency out into this now moment that is still available for you to pick up on. So what I'm talking about is what she was doing is actually an energy that she shot out into the quantum field. How does that make you feel? It's right here. Do you remember when I've talked to you about saying prayers and how they were said with this intention to connect to all that is source energy? And that every guru, saint, wise person, sinner who's repentant says it with such fervent desire to be one with God, actually is bouncing around somewhere in the energy field, right here, right now. It's incredible. So what I'm trying to tell you with this iconic self is either you've imagined it already, you've seen it already, you've experienced it somehow. But it became a feeling that got generated and became a wave. And that wave is charged with an emotion that you want to be able to access. And you can. And that's what this class today is all about. Incredible. It's available to you right now. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a really deep breath, because we've always got to bring that busy, busy mind down to this active feeling heart. And in between here and here, right? That becomes this union of this intelligent mind that's you and this feeling heart that's you. And they unify like masculine and feminine, like that busy mind is intelligent, is your masculine in action. And then that feeling heart is your feminine in action. And blended, they're unifying in your body just like two bodies making love. And what happens when you get to that place of emptiness and union? It's all time and space becomes this like expansive reality that is unique for you in that moment. You are connected. You are plugged in. You deserve that because that's your birthright. You were made for this. So when you imagine something that you've always wanted to partake in energetically, like a Marilyn Monroe essence, or the wisdom of your grandmother, or your mother's heartbeat when she holds you. It could be your father's stewardness, how he takes care of the family. It can be masculine or feminine qualities. Both reside in you. Your right being your masculine, your left being your feminine. They blend together at all times, creating a yin and yang balance in your body. So bring that mind down to the level of your heart and breathe the breath of life. Rest in that and breathe again. Open your heart. Let that mind drop down. Drop, drop, drop. When you catch it, you can actually feel something happen in your heart where you're not up here, you're here. And your heart goes. And feel how your body drops so that you're safe. And you know this feeling. You may not spend a lot of time here, but that's what we're working on today. We're teaching you how to embody your body. And the busy self, the 1.0 self, is very outside of her body. The 2.0 self is beginning to really feel what it feels like to be connected to the source of all, that which created you. Breathe that in. There are ideas that you've had about who you wanted to become and what that looks like to become it. How do you be it? The iconic self, in a way, is outside of you. And it's inspiration from inside of your body and your own inner wisdom. Or you've seen it at times on the outside of your life, just desiring to emulate some piece of that as your own. And whoever you were inspired by, or whatever you were inspired by, is the frequency that I'm referring to that is available to you at all times. Because no matter at what time or place it happened, it's still in the now, the all-time space continuum, and available to you. It's amazing. How do I get there? That's the quantum field. When I'm talking about quantum jumping, when I'm talking about moving that junk of your mind out of the way, this is what I'm talking about. How fantastic is that? Be ready for miracles. Be ready to feel different in your body. Be ready for your mind to think different thoughts and your heart to feel different emotions. So let's walk through a practice. Taking time to breathe. Taking time to center. I want you to bring the imagination of the great central sun coming down underneath your ribs, right here, right there. Now the grounding energy is the up and down energy. The centering energy is the spiraling in of source energy, that which created you, the infinite love of the Holy Spirit. Starts to spiral into your bowl of light right here underneath your xiphoid process right here, right? Let it become a vortex of light. Imagine that it's the spiral that isn't spiraling out. It does when you're giving energy, but you're taking it in. Sometimes when I used to teach body harmonics, I would have them pull the energy in and I'd have them push the energy out. Right now you're pulling it in. So breathe and let it well up inside of you. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Activate that third chakra. The third chakra has to do with your environment. It has to do with the space that you're holding and the people that you're holding that space with and the frequency that you're feeling while you're experiencing that feeling. When you understand that you're vibrating here and that your breath has a frequency, you're not going to hold your breath. You don't want to hold your breath. You want your breath to give you life. Remember, that's what aloha is all about, breath of life. Not hello and goodbye, breath of life. The inhale of the divine, alo. The exhale, the ha breath. Spiral that in, 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 spiral that in. Take that in. Let it out. Let it out, let it out. Hot out, hot out, hot out. And then notice, all of a sudden you feel a lot more in your body. It's really exciting. The next step I want you to think of is imagine, kind of helps to imagine somebody that you admire, that you want to take on some of those attributes. You're not stealing them. No, you're not being an imposter. You're having the courage to expand and allow other people or other things to be your inspiration, your learning. So I think in one of our last group calls, some of you said some really interesting people. You know, like Sean said, Marilyn Monroe, and Audrey Hepburn was brought up, and brave people were brought up, like Joan of Arc and Amelia Earhart. Lady Diana. Think of those qualities that it took to feel the way that they felt to be who they were. Some ways of doing that is to actually think about their mannerisms, how they moved through the world. So imagine that for a moment. It doesn't have to be a woman, right? There's grace and beauty in however you're feeling the balance of your masculine and feminine inside of you. And if this video is seen by anyone else, this is for the Hot and Holy group, which is a group of women. So if it's shared, I want it to be in the context that we're talking to women right now. So feel that whatever you are, that you-ness. What are those attributes that you've seen outside of yourself that you want to bring forward? Feel how your body changes when I say that. Some of you will feel a little nervous, like you're not going to do it right. Who cares? This is a video. Pause it. We'll be here when you get back. So what are the attributes that you're looking to emulate, that you really admire, that have made you feel really good inside, but you didn't know how to get there? And bring that joyful feeling into your heart. And notice that in the past, maybe when you experienced it before, you could have felt a mixed feeling of inspiration and what Sean has mentioned, jealousy. Jealousy that they have it and you don't, and you want to, but you don't right now. But you do, and you can right now, because in the quantum field, it's already been there for eons. The time-space continuum is this now moment. It's done. So bring the now moment of those feelings, exactly how you remember them to be, and imagine them and enjoy it. Like, oh, I really like the presence of like being able to super connect, right? To super just like be in that space with someone where you're just super present and you know that you're fully there, you're fully alive. Or that other moment when you're maybe going for something, you're exercising, you want to get to that last mile, and you drive the inspiration of the fierceness that you've seen other people have to accomplish something really big physically, and you're just like, you go for it. Or the capacity for the brilliant mind, tapping in to the heart of intelligence, infinite wisdom. What does that feel like in your body? The beauty of the iconic self is that you can borrow attributes from any time, any place, anywhere on the planet, anywhere outside of the planet. Sometimes you've seen a nebula just existing there in all of its glory, and you've thought, wow, that was created by Creator. And it's just there being all that it is in its full capacity. You can be inspired by creation. Don't limit yourself to circumstances. Limit yourself to the unlimited. Choose the choiceless. So we're going to make some choices to try to embody something. But I also want you to like choose that and then go beyond the feeling. Once you grab it, get beyond the feeling of what is a little bit more than my iconic self. So it starts maybe as a copycat energy and then becomes something larger, something more than you would know to ask for. And that's the beauty of the iconic self, is that it's going to start somewhere, you're going to tap into it, and then it's going to become more than you knew to ask for. And that is going to feel expansive. And that is where we want to live. And that is 2.0 reality. It's literally that simple. As you prepare for what we're going to talk about, we're talking about, where do I get stuck in the limitations of just existing from the outside of world experiences, influencing how your heart space responds? Do you want to live from that space anymore? You're going to, and it's not a failure to suddenly not know how to regulate this, but it is a true accomplishment to be aware of the feelings that are going on outside of this world around us, and understand that you're creating it from here, not from here. Here, not from here. And so people aren't really doing anything to us. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on, right? So we have to understand we are creating the new earth. We are creating the fifth dimension. We are creating the fourth dimension. We are responding to the third dimension. Let's talk about dimensions. Third dimension, polarization, good versus evil, love versus fear, excitement versus dullness, weak versus strong, light versus dark. Third dimension is duality. It means that you're existing in two spaces, and they're actually polarized against each other. And so it is the plane of separation consciousness. But within that separation consciousness, we really want unity. We're craving unity. Fourth dimension. Fourth dimension is where we want to transform to. So when we think of fourth dimension, it's kind of like that weird vortex of the Ouija board. You know, the ghost realm, the hungry ghost realm. But it's also the realm of angels. So, the third dimension is kind of a material duality, physical world. The fourth dimension is more non-physical, heaven versus hell sort of thing. You know, like, do I want to feel the cosmos as a friendly universe, or do I feel the cosmos most as an unfriendly universe? Fourth dimension influences the third dimensional self through kind of a psychic feeling. And I don't mean like psychic as predictive. I mean the psychic mind, or the feeling body mind, right? So when you think about your emotional self and how you connect to source, are you doing it more from a fourth dimensional place where you're thinking about the angelic realm, the feeling of when you're like on the top of a mountain and you feel the emptiness, right? And you're still feeling the physical body, but you can let the lower emotions pop you out, the hellish, hungry ghosts. I call the fourth dimension more a dimension of breakthrough, transforming yourself, becoming something new. It's sort of where you go into that spiritual dimension to change yourself. And then the fifth dimension is not dual. The fifth dimension is that pure emptiness of source, intelligent love energy, waiting to make more of itself inside of you. It's fertile. It's enticing. It's heaven on earth. And our bodies and our spirits and our minds are moving into an awakened state. We have to really manage our mind in order to crave that and not be afraid of it. So the iconic self are the selves of you that want to live in the fifth dimension. And it's willing to cross that bridge through the fourth to strive for that grace that it's going to take to be what you want to become. So your homework and your work for class this week is, where are you stuck in your 1.0? Where are you? Because we're going to ask you about this. And you want to be coached on it. It's one thing to learn really valuable information like I'm offering. It's so exciting. But you got to make it workable. So I'm really excited to see you on Thursday and work through these assignments of like, who do I want to become and how am I operating now? Bring your troubles. Everybody's going to learn through that lack of embodiment that you're willing to share is going to be somebody's fodder. It's going to feed their enlightenment. I'm so excited to see you. I'm so excited to do this work with you. And Sean and I have so much to offer because this is really unique to us. This is something that the Holy Spirit really inspired me to use as a tool. And I have the support of Sean's, umbrella-like abilities to help me to amplify it. We are the synergistic mystics, and we are eliciting your hot and holy together, and you are igniting and aligning ours. And may we emanate this beautiful, sensual truth of who we are, which is our true essence, out into the world. So Thursday, we're going to do this work together tomorrow. Be ready. Really excited. Have a beautiful day. And remember that this is going to be one of the most key ways for you to understand that all these things you want are already a frequency that is existing right in this now moment. And it's accessed through your beliefs and your feelings that are just inspirations to start, and they're managed and cultivated by you amplifying them through your breath of life, through allowing yourself to feel good and happy. Bless you, and I can't wait to work with you deeper. Have a beautiful day until next time.